Okay, we're doing a sealed now for the release, not the pre-release, because it's much better price structure. So, Sarah Angel, it's a good start. Congregate's interesting. Like, normally you just don't want to play cards that only get you life, but this can get you so much life. It borders unplayable. I'll throw it in there. Two of the big butt slivers is fine. Master Diversion is good. Oromancer is alright. Depends a lot on whether or not you get, these things. We got one, so let's throw that in there. Okay, Celestial Flare is actually pretty good in my experience. It is a little awkward sometimes, but usually hopefully if you have any kind of board presence, they can't just like attack you with like the entire team. So they just attack you with like the one, evasive creature that's big enough to get through, and you say, yeah, let's sacrifice him. This guy I am not a fan of, but he is somewhat playable. This is a somewhat underpowered set, so having something to do with your mana later on is workable. But he's still not exactly good. This is definitely not good. Sea Skyte's good. Clone's always going to be pretty good. Cancel is playable. Ordinate Eos Isle is pretty good. Trained Condor is pretty good. Doesn't look like it's working out particularly well. I love Time Ebbs. Frost Breath is also quite the tempo swing. Divination's fine. Coral Marker is kind of okay. I think it's all kind of playable. Black Corrupts are not really that good unless you're like pretty close to mono black, which doesn't look like we're going to be able to do. We do have the Bogbrew Witch. So we didn't get the Cauldron. That's not great. And we got one Festering Newt. So probably not worth running the Bogbrew Witch. Corrupts are somewhat playable. These Cockatrice. Let me throw those in. Inventor's playable. Altar's Reap. Yeah, Altar's Reap, you need some stuff to reap. Yeah, not wild about that. So we got two Lava Axes. I don't really love Lava Axes, but they're somewhat better in multiples, interestingly. Agathon Firecat. Yeah, it's okay. Flames of the Firebrand is good. Active Trees would be really good if we had any kind of sacrifice outlet, which I should finish throwing it in there. But we don't really have any of that going on. Academy Reader is probably something you're going to play in this. Wild Guess isn't bad. Dragon Hatchling is bad. I mean, I guess, I don't know. It's similar to the Celestial, whatever, Capetian Knight. I still think it's just bad. Another Dragon Hatchling, great. Striking Sliver, I'm sorry, I thought that was two shocks, it's one shock. So green, I hope green is our savior. Howl of the Night Pack is pretty good and sealed. Games can go pretty long. Remnant Behemoth is good. Briar Pack Alpha is excellent. This is just... I was going to say it's like the best uncommon in the set, but Sarah Angel's probably still better. But he's still very good. Witch Stalker is excellent. Brindlebore is playable. Culling Tusker is quite good. Gracious Worm, Deadly Recluse, Savage Summoning. Yeah, I think Savage Summoning is playable. Normally I would just never draft it because I think people like it better than I do, but it's playable. Ranger's Guile is fine. Giant Growth is good. Not a big fan of just the one drop hexproof, unless you really want to load up on, oops, wrong one. Still the wrong one. Auras, which don't think we really have that. We have that one aura, and then there's Yeah, I don't think we have any of other pump auras. So let's go ahead and throw Savage Summoning in there. I don't know that I really like it. Like it takes a card, and I mean you can kind of use it as a removal and sneak in. I don't know, something. If you got up to 5 mana, they could attack with a 4/4, and you could Savage Summoning Rumbling Baloth and be pretty good. But there's a lot of ifs. Verdant Haven's playable. Probably will play both these two since we have, where is it? Yeah, Voracious Worm. So that would work well with any other life gain, which we don't really have. I mean, you could Solemn Offering. That requires a lot of ifs. It takes up 5 mana. Have to have a target for that, and then follow up with that. Guardian of the Ages. I've never played with this, but I have to assume it's pretty good. Like 7 mana for a 7/7 Trampler eventually has got to be pretty good. I do have Darksteel Ingot, so it's possible with it, between the Darksteel Ingot and the Verdant Haven that will splash something. I'm pretty sure we're going to be in green. Not sure what the other card is. Savage Summon. I can't waste a card just for a +1/+1 counter. I just can't. So we whiff on the green slivers. We have 1 red sliver. Do not have any Advocate of the Beast, so that we have, it's a pity because we have 4 beasts. 1, 2, 3, and 4 there. But no advocates. I'm an advocate for the advocate. I feel okay about the blue, although it's kind of lacking in creatures. But I think we can work with it. White, I like the Sarah Angel, and then we do have some more. No, I don't think so. Maybe we would splash Pacifism, and you can't splash Celestial Flare. I would like to, but it's not that mana color, or color mana intensive. Black. I'm not going to splash anything in black. Black is not happening. Alright, 11 minutes. Gotta watch time a little bit. So, red. Could do red. I feel strongest about the green. Like, it's just solid creatures, basically. And then we're pretty light on removal, just in all our colors. So probably we're going to run the Pacifism, even as a splash. Ramp and Fix, yeah, we need both of those things. With that and that, and that kind of. Yeah, this is helpful if you can play it a turn early. Get extra sec rollings. So I feel like it's probably going to be blue and green. Those are just my most favorite colors, pretty much. But let's take a look at how this stuff stacks up. Alright. So it's 27, so we need to cut 4 cards. I don't think it's going to be that hard. Like probably the Coral Merfolk cut. Essence Scatter will probably keep in. 2 combat tricks, that's fine. Divination, double time map, cancel, Frost Breath. A little light on creatures. Probably don't want to cut any creatures. There's a lot of just like kind of tempo. Frost Breath. Probably would cut 1 Frost Breath. don't usually want to go above 3 tempo-ish cards. So the time that does at least give you, it takes away their draw step, so it's not too bad. Pyromancer's gone. We absolutely cannot make that work in this deck, right? Yeah. Absolutely unplayable. So we don't cut any of this stuff up here. I know it's not the most impressive top end, but needs some top end. So we'd cut 2 cards, like maybe a cancel. Although it's not bad. We can get off to a relatively aggressive start. Yeah, not really. Deadly Reckless isn't terribly aggressive, but always gets a card worth of value pretty much. So Brindlebore. Meh. Divination you probably keep. Yeah, it's probably a good sign that I feel bad about cutting cards. Like we could just cut the counter suite. It'd be okay. I feel like I want to keep at least one of those in though. Don't want to cut any creatures, so let me just bring it up. What are not creatures? These are not creatures. 2 combat tricks. I think that's good. We have fairly limited ways to interact with our opponent, especially at instant speed. I think that's pretty much it, other than the Frost Breath. So we definitely want 2 combat tricks. Don't want to go to 16 lands because we do have 2 alternative. Should be down there. 2 alternative mana sources, but you need to get up to 3 to use them. So still want 17 lands. Looks like we're going to be fairly. And we might probably want to actually throw in the pacifism. So I think we cut the cancel, and I like Time Ebb. Brindlebore is pretty unimpressive, but does work here. It can take some work, but if you can get a 6/6 in this set, it's pretty good. Unless they, Pacifism, Doomblade, whatever. They have to have an answer to it. That's definitely staying in. 2 4-drops with Flash. I like that. That leans me towards keeping a cancel. Okay, we've running fairly low on time. I think double blue could be tough on our mana, so I'm going to cut that out. I'll leave the Essence Scatter. Oh, gotta cut something else. Maybe 1 Ranger's Guile. Maybe the Pacifism. Just make our mana, because I think from the Pacifism I've got the 2 any color fixers, and I'd probably run 1 Plains. Warden of Eos Isle. We have 2. I mean, it's just a Windrake basically, but Windrakes are good. Maybe the other Frost Breath. Yeah, we have the option to tempo out on people. I think I'll cut the Pacifism just for the sake of consistency, and then I think I want to keep the Divination so we can help draw some lands and stuff. Just smooths out your mana base pretty good. I guess a Ranger's Guile. Would like to have some ability to get rid of their aggressiveness, or counter their stuff. Counter their removal spells. I guess we can cut one time ebb. We're pretty heavy on the 3-drops. Cut one of those. Add lands, just 10-7. I think that's about right. Piles by color. Yeah, no double blue. And yeah, 10-7 is correct. Helps to howl the night pack as well. So let's save that. Okay, we're in tournament decks. Yeah. M14 UG. I don't think I'm gonna have time to fuck around with the other options. Well, let's do it anyway. So, what does the white look like? Actually, I think the red was probably more appropriate. 2 lava axes. Throw all the lands away. Alright, so still have a fairly low creature count. Active Treason might cut. Well, it does work well with the Marauding Maulhorns, so yeah, I guess I'll leave it in. We got 2 decent removal spells. Lava Axes, Battle Sliver. It's just a 5/3, but we're not cutting creatures. Wild Guess we could probably cut. Might be a little hard on the mana. Lightning Talons could be cut, but I probably would leave it in with the Academy Raider and Witch Stalker in the deck. Shock. Could probably cut that since we've got a couple ways to interact with stuff. This is reasonable. Wraith and Firecat. We make one more cut. I don't know if I like this better than the blue or not. It's a little kind of all the same stuff. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So it's going to be heavy on the 3s either way. But these are a little bit softer 3s. That's not necessarily a 3. I think I like the red a little bit more. I think I'm going to keep the red. Do have some double stuff here. I think I want, where'd the pacifism go? Pacifism in, and then we'll tweak some stuff here real quick. Really don't want to cut any creatures or removal spells. And that leaves Lava Axes. Not a huge fan of Lava Axes, so this is 23. Add land, suggest, I think that's reasonable. Especially our red really doesn't come in until late. I'm on board with this. It is a little bit more tricky in terms of our mana base, but gives us some more removal. More removal is more good, as they say. So let's send it like this.